Heart spit. I don't talk, bitch. I aim to make your life awkward. 80% of these rappers are white chocolates. They better brush off, it's making me nauseous. Of course, such talent brownie shorts like August. Remorseless to challenge some say he's gorgeous. No stormy waters can break my border. Stand up for the chorus, DTI. Don't ignore us, it's a fullest. I blow your speakers, mate. Head to your town and take your chick on the...
First became homeless in about 1997. What happened was I got into drugs, which is mainly like cannabis and alcohol and ecstasy, all that sort of stuff. I was living at my mother's, started arguing with my mother, troubles just escalated. Eventually I got kicked out of the house, so I was homeless at that point. So when I decided, then I've got to stay with my friend. My friend lived just down the road, which is just in Hare Hills. Went and moved in there. He got kicked out, he moved. I was left in an empty flat basically. Eventually I got kicked out of that flat when the landlord came round, and I was living on the streets, so I found it very hard to sleep anywhere outside if I didn't have a drink, or if there isn't drugs available, which is why a lot of people with homeless issues have drug issues, because if you're sleeping on the streets, it's very hard to fall to sleep with a straight head, you know what I mean?
The opposite to 666s. I'm ill with the sickness. From it on remixes, delete gimmicks with mean scriptures.
What do I think of homeless people? Well, basically, I think there's quite a number of genuine homeless people, and I think there's some that's brought it on themselves from taking drugs and alcohol abuse and things like that,
Taking over. I took over with foot soldiers. I'm the lieutenant who's present. A few remnants of hip-hop's true essence.
I managed to get a flat because I was homeless. I met people down at the Crook, which is a homeless shelter for homeless people, and I met a lot of people down there, and some of them came up to my flat, and eventually I was out one day and somebody had set my flat on fire. I don't know if it was intentional, I don't know if it was by accident, but it set on fire. And that left me homeless. So once again I was back on the streets. I went to housing advice. Luckily they found me a place because it was an emergency situation in a hostel. So I moved back into a hostel. I got kicked out of the hostel. So again I was left homeless again. I was living on the streets again. It was very cold, and it's really lonely out when you're by yourself, and at night time especially. And you don't do a lot of sleeping really. What you do, you just sit there for a few hours, and eventually you move on just to keep yourself warm or to keep yourself active.
For all who oppose freeloaders, high rollers, whether they...
Yeah, as you can see, it's obviously not very nice living there or with them sort of standards, but you've got to try your best with it really. What you normally try and find some boxes, whatever, try and cover yourself up, keep yourself warm as possible really. If you've got a few friends, even better really, so you're just not on your own, and you're not mulling it over in your mind.
Cries taking your life. Is you a cat? Then I'm taking all 9. Take time.
Now I'm trying to get out of that, and it's very hard at the moment for me because the council are not willing to look at me to be rehoused, even on medical and homeless issues. You still got the same priority as anybody else, so it leaves you. Well, if you do want a job and if you do want these to come up and get out of homelessness, get out of the situations that you're in, people make it very difficult because of these rules and regulations, what they've got, and I've also found that the staff aren't very caring really. It's almost it's like they assume that you're lying. That's how I feel personally when I go there. I feel like they're not really interested in my issues. All interested is getting the job done and leaving it for the rest of the day.
Smart dog, spitting lyrics daily, crazy, oddball, D on the beatbox. We have.
Yeah, this is where I live. I've got this place through the Housing Advice Centre, which is in Leeds City Centre. It's basically just a room. There is a toilet upstairs. There's no kitchen. So you have to make do with what you can. You get supplied a bed, a couple of cupboards. It is handy, but then again, it's not a permanent place to live. So you could be moved at any time. So that does stop you like getting jobs and whatever, because you're just waiting for information basically. But yeah, it is a great help. The door downstairs, it is locked, but a lot of the people just leave it open. And people just basically walk in and out of your room. You don't know who they are, you have no idea. A lot of them been drinking, a lot of them, you know, they just look a state really. And they walk into your room and you think, who's that? You know, telling me this and that. And you hear them talking about heroin all the time, and you know, there is a lot of like heroin with it, with people with these sort of problems.
Man on my block, man on my block, man on my block, man on my block. I'm have a plot, some step, shop and start to shut the face, them clocking it all gets up, man.
I feel personally when you do stay homeless that it's very hard to not be on drugs or not to be on alcohol because of how difficult it is to stay outside. So really it's like you're using something to ignore the situation that you're in, and it just makes it like slide by, really. It makes it a bit easier, which is why I think a lot of people get caught into the drugs trap, really.
What motive do you get to get off the street?
What motive do you get to get off the street?
Yeah.
My motive's with kids.
Kids?
Yeah, and family.
To be poor is a crime, man. You have to know that in this time, man. To be poor is a crime. So obviously I feel for it. You get me?
Even asking her forgiven up. Nah, we don't have nothing to carbon cups. It'll take more than life to break and see we make our love. You might see me on road to stop blood, but you'll never catch me loading up love. For my brethren whether south or north, cause I'm not gonna break with.
Thoughts in my mind, incorporated into my life. No national curriculum can teach us about our lives. You fend for yourself, this area's a threat to your hive. You better watch your back, check your right.